Yeah.
Everybody in?
Yep.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry that we made you wait outside, but we had to do our financial report first. Now that you're here, I hear you have an elder that wants to make an opening prayer.
Manage and we manage the next one and we see this new which we have now. I asked the Creator to give us good hearts and good words and to look at our children. These are our children that will be taken care of us later on. Let's take care of them and take care of them now. And this is what we're supposed to be doing. Taking care of our children. Love you.
So, good afternoon again. Who is your spokesperson?
Sandra Germain also wanted to be on the agenda. She had given you guys a letter, I believe, Sunday. And the forum would say, I think she should be in first.
I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but I did send a letter, a very detailed letter, a very well thought out letter, outlining some of the alternatives I think that we could have put in place prior to this decision being made.
When you say decision, I would like to know what decision you guys hear.
What decision is made?
What is made? I mean, you guys are saying that we cut out post-secondary.
You cut first year funding.
We didn't.
We didn't cut it?
We didn't cut nothing, so you guys are rallying around.
Wait a minute, I was told by Teresa, I got a form, said that they're only given tuition 500 that I'm at, and we weren't going to be getting the extra help from Listuguj.
No, what happened
500 for tuition, 250 for books instead of 1,000. You know, if somebody here has a copy of that, Lorna. And I went to see you, Scott, and you said that Lorna was opposed to it, and you didn't have 700,000 to cover the extra expenses.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
But see, when we didn't cut the funding, what happened is the budgets were being made in June, on June 13th. Gail made a budget to John Alexander, the director of finance. In that budget was $350,000 deficit, which we agreed to. After that, Lorna wanted to add 49 more students. And she said, can you up the deficit from $350,000 to 700 plus? And I said, no, not at this time, because of the state of the band is 17, we're still $17 million in debt. So she texted me back or emailed me and said, why don't you lend me the money? If I don't have the money to give to you, how do I have the money to lend? And then I said, the students should take some of the responsibility to get
We could, excuse me for interrupting.
No, but this is what I'm just saying.
Yeah, but we didn't get enough notice. I just got notice 2 days before my tuition was due on Friday. And you told me, well, can't you go to your bank? Who is going to give me a loan in 2 hours? So I have budgeted for 2 years, all my living expenses. I have to put that together to pay $1,884. It's too short of a notice. This should have been worked on beforehand. It's not fair. And I told you I felt abandoned.
Here's a management action plan. They've been working on this all year. Gail was the director of education. She was aware of all the cuts that were coming down. We told her to inform the students. It's not me as the chief to make sure that you guys are informed. That's what the directors are here for.
If she were sitting here, would she say that that's exactly it?
You guys are talking about cutting back on the money, make sure that they follow up.
Do you think she would have taken your orders? She would have said, no, fire me first, fire me first. She would never
But see, but we try to work open. So when we fired, you can laugh all you want, I mean, this, you know, you're tired of it. But when this map came into place, the LMG is moving to a more accountable business model, which will hold directors responsible for developing and following a balanced budget in the funded program. She was part of it, so she had to know whether she would listen to us or not. And this is why the kids are suffering today, because we keep getting a deficit.
But isn't there other areas you can cut besides education, like housing? People don't pay for their rent, but you're still building more houses each year. Why can't we put that on hold and send our children to school?
And what are we supposed to keep the people on the road?
Where's our
They're
fishery money?
living-
Where's all the fishery profit?
The fishery money is paid for people that don't pay their house.
It's obvious
Pay
that the
for all
housing
bills.
isn't working out if
That's
we're
where the
not
money,
paying
The
the
goddamn
priority be
rent.
for our kids first, though.
No,
Education
but
should
we
be
already put $350,000 aside.
I think that the community needs to be up to date on these things, and we need to be asked what do we want?
Yep.
And it's not being
I thought
this
that's what
way.
you guys
There are a
want,
few people that are
transparency.
making decisions as to where the monies are going or need to go. Well, bring this out to the community so we can decide. Is it Department of Education or is it home funding?
I agree
If
with you.
they do not pay their bills, then why
should the students have to pay for that?
Why aren't you guys doing something
No,
about
but
it?
where are we gonna get the money? If we have, say for example, we're paying your house because you're on behind. Who's suffering now?
Students.
There you go. But that's my
I should be
fault.
suffering.
Yeah,
I should-
but
yeah, exactly.
then we throw you out, then you're gonna do the same thing.
Then
You're
why
gonna
build
rally
more
around,
houses if we
you
can't
take
even
around,
pay
take
rent?
around
If you
us.
guys are
So
going
what,
deficit
you
for
figured,
that?
you weighed it out and which
No,
one would be less?
we only went with what we have. If we had that much in the budget.
We get all this, every one of us is supposed to benefit from that, our children especially. We got those rights because of our treaty rights, all of us have those rights, not just chief and council to say, well, we're gonna put this here and put that there. Consult our members, ask us where we want the money to go.
I would.
I thought we
No,
were
I would
community
go, but
driven
don't you
here.
think somebody should be working too, like the public? Like those
You guys should be working to try to get
Well,
more
I
money.
am working, but like these guys we hire to build houses. So now if I take this budget from these guys that are building the houses to give it to the students, what do I tell these people? I'm sorry, I can't hire you.
Go out and
You
fight
can't
for
feed
more
your-
money for us.
No, then you tell them, I'm sorry, we can't build more houses simply because the majority, I don't know how many, what the percentage is of the people that are not paying their houses, because of the people that aren't paying their houses, then you people that are supposed to be working on housing, you guys are the ones that's going to suffer.
What?
Now, why make our kids suffer for the simple reason that you want to build more houses that people are not going to pay for?
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
If I'm not paying for
Why-
if
why
I'm not
should-
paying for my house, then tell me, Dolly, then get a plan for that. Dolly, you have 60 days to come in and make a payment agreement. If you don't, then I'm sorry. Within 90 days, you're gonna have to be out of that house, okay? And then ask the community if that's what they would agree to. And I'm pretty goddamn sure that most people that are sensible enough will say yes.
And the
Because
majority
we don't
will
want the
agree.
rest of our community to suffer for the people that are not paying their houses.
Somebody's gonna suffer regardless.
Well,
because-
yes,
Well,
but
why are you- why are
we're
Why-
supposed to be working for our children, our future generation. It's our
Everybody
future
is
generation.
suffering.
It's our aunts, our uncles, our sisters,
The
our
elders are
brothers,
suffering,
our
parents are suffering,
grandchildren.
the kids, everybody's suffering in this
Education
community.
is.
Yeah.
The council aren't suffering though.
Education is
That's right.
priority. We always tell that to our kids from the time they can, we educate them. We educate them right from the day that they're born. And let's continue educating them, because you know what's gonna happen? That's gonna cut our kids from not wanting to go to school because simply they cannot afford it. The parents can't afford it, single parents can't afford it.
And then
And then we're
nowadays,
gonna have
people
more
like this
dropouts.
gentleman are gonna come in
Yeah.
and dictate to us.
And then we're gonna have,
Yeah.
just for example, what's gonna happen in high school this year.
Excuse me, can we at least understand what we're arguing about? First and
Education.
foremost, yes, education is important. I don't think there's a person in this room that's gonna deny that. Because if they are, they shouldn't be here. Nobody's denying that education is important. What we're talking right now is budgets. I don't even know what decision was made, and I'm sitting here as a counselor, and I'm reading Facebook, and I'm going, what the heck is going on?
That's shameful.
Really?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
okay, but before
Exactly.
you jump on anybody, I still don't know.
But
you as a
counselor should know.
Okay, counsel approves.
Everybody here should
You
know.
don't have to be rude. I do my
Can
job.
I explain what
But my
it is we're
job-
dealing with here? We're dealing with these first year students that
But
are
I
just about
thought
to enter
they
into
were
university.
going in.
They're going in, they've been accepted, however, I'm gonna give you an example, and it is on Facebook. If you're a college student, and I think many of them have applied for college, the old guidelines, which I think is what you're applying, says we'll give you $500 against a $4,000 tuition. You go and find $3,500. You're going to university, we'll give you $2,000 against your $6,000 tuition.
Or go to
Where are
school
they
in
gonna
Quebec.
get that money? And while we were doing that, we cut your allowance too. Oh yes, and we cut your books. They're cut.
But this is not just something that happened this summer.
It is.
No,
It's never happened
no.
before.
But why
It happened
Nobody
to
knew
the
about it.
Opry-
The community members never knew about
This
it.
just happened now. You did it to the Op Reserve Indians, some time ago, and I got no problem
And
with
if you
that.
said council didn't know, why don't you guys make a vote today in front of us to show
Yeah,
us where you stand?
there you go, yeah.
Show us where you
Because I don't
stand.
have the information.
Let's go back to the status quo. Let's give everybody back what they're, and then work on a plan.
At least for this year, because the notice was too late.
And where are we gonna get the extra $450,000?
Well, that's
No,
what
big
we got your
fisheries, all
raise,
the-
no,
Where did you get, it's already been budgeted out.
As to what
Budgets
what
can be
it could
changed.
be, but this year, there's, in the state of Maine, they did a ban with regards to, fishing on the shrimp. So that increased the quotas in Canada, what they're able to catch. And then also too, the American economy is so much better, the US dollar is doing better, so they're selling more.
The shrimp
So there
price almost
is,
doubled.
there has to be some increase.
Wind power is gonna be generating millions of dollars into this community. Can we not think ahead and say, all right, and I think, Mike.
Yeah.
I just wanna make a comment, and I know we're all suffering, and I know there's been poor management from previous governments and so on and so forth. We need people with a vision. Now, is council today suffering? No. Our students are suffering, our elders are suffering, other community members are suffering, okay? Why not, now that you're at this point in this juncture, yes, there's budgets, yes, there's things that you're accountable to, but you're also responsible as leaders to lead this community in ways that's going to allow for that deficits or allow for our students to feel comfortable enough to go to high school, graduate, go to university, get a university degree, and hopefully maybe even come back to work here. That is the issue. You can argue all back and forth where you're at now. You need to now start thinking, the elected councillor and Chief Martin, what are we gonna do from here? Now, think about it. A decision was made that 49 students will not be receiving adequate funding. What kind of ramifications is that going to do? One, I'll tell you right now, for those of you around the table, if your council and chief went off to school, university, there's pressure there. There's pressure to succeed, there's pressure to study, there's pressure to be away from family. Now you're giving them a financial pressure? What kind of message are you sending our youth? What kind of message are you sending the community? Education is not important. Education should be priority. If there's going to be cuts, why not cuts in your honorarium? If there are going to be cuts,
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Why
not cuts in going to meetings where nothing is accomplished?
That's right.
Why not cuts in
Yeah.
other areas? If we are sincerely going to be elected by the community and going to be members and leaders, these are decisions you have to make. And these are decisions that should be planned out. There's no vision, there's no plan. We need to plan them out. We knew this was going to happen. We knew every year this was happening.
Do the
And we
majority
waited.
of council support this?
And we waited until they get to this point where now our students are feeling it. Those are the people that are going to lead this community into the future.
Can I find out from the council members who supports these cuts to these students?
I don't
Yeah.
support
You
that.
don't support
You don't support
you-
the community.
you-
Good for you, Donna. You don't support the community.
No, no.
I'm not
So none
saying
of-
I don't support cuts, but reality is, we have to do something. We
That's
have to
your
have-
reality. We have our reality too, Patty. You're a very comfortable woman.
Can we not,
I'm sure you
I
are.
think too what we're faced with also, Mike.
can not the
is
plan
idea
be
that-
where it can be gradually phased in?
Yes.
Yes, there's going to be
Yes.
deficit,
Yes.
but we need to eliminate that right away. Like, we lived in it for a while. Why don't we do it piece by piece, phasing it out? With the plan to say, well, we're gonna have another 30 graduates next year, maybe. We gotta prepare for those folks. We also have folks that are in the university right now. We gotta prepare for those folks. Planning, people.
But why do you
Stop,
want
stop,
to reduce? Why do you want to
stop being the fireman and waiting for a fire to start to put it out. let's start planning now so we don't deal with those fires.
When public